So when I took over as director in 2003, we changed the name to Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary. That way it would give people an idea of exactly what we were doing, which is becoming a wolf sanctuary. So what we're doing now is rescuing captive bred wolves from humans that try to make them pets, and then giving those wolves a permanent lifetime sanctuary. We don't believe that any wild animal should be a pet. So this is our labor of love, our endeavor, our work in progress. So my goal for Wild Spirit Wolf Sanctuary is for it to become a family education vacation destination. How's that for alliteration? But that's what I want people to do. I want people to plan their family vacation around Wild Spirit and come and camp out at a campground, learn about wolves, come around and feed with us in the morning, and just get a real first-hand view of wolves. Now obviously they're not wild wolves, so they're not going to behave like wild wolves, but nonetheless they still are wild animals, and they do have that essence of the wild. And this is the best close-up opportunity you can get to be around wolves. Hands down, there's no zoo that's going to allow you to get this close to wolves. There's no zoo that's going to bring out an animal so people can interact with it and see it firsthand up close.
I like to work with the animals, and it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'd like to pursue a career in it, so working with the animals helps me with that career. Plus the people are fun, and Leighton's hilarious, so it's worth it.
We have an animal here named Embla, and she's one of our shyest critters, and we think she might be part chow. She's about a mid-content wolf dog, low content, mid-content. Very, very shy. Looks like a swamp monster. So one day I was in her enclosure cleaning. I had something on my shoe, so I took my shoe off to get it out, a little rock or something, and put the shoe a couple feet away from me. I'm itching my foot. When I look up, Embla is running off with my shoe in her mouth. And this is, like I said, one of the shyest animals here. And running around with my shoe in her mouth, looking so proud of herself. She keeps looking at me. I'm chasing her around, keeps looking at me like, please don't hurt me. At the same time, just smirking, just like, yeah, that's right, I took your shoe. I walked around in flip-flops for the rest of the day.
Is there anything else you want to share about being a volunteer?
It's hard work, and you don't get to play with the animals all the time like lots of people think that we get to do. If we're lucky, we can play with the animals 3 times a week, and that's including our days off. But it's a lot of fun. It's just hard work, and I think people that want to come out here and volunteer should really consider that it is hard. We have to carry 5-gallon water buckets uphill, even in the wintertime, so it's just something to consider.
Is that for us, we only need to be in these enclosures for maybe an hour a day at tops. And so for us to come in and assert ourselves as in control and in charge, and maybe come in here with an alpha attitude, it's a lot easier for us to do that than somebody who tries to keep a wolf in their household as a pet, as a family pet. Because what that means is that they have to assert themselves as the alpha 24/7, which is an impossibility. Anytime you're going to be taking a nap or bending over, squatting down, turning your back, or having a cold, anything that's a sign of weakness could be an opportunity for one of these animals to try to assert themselves as the alpha or the dominant animal. So that's where a lot of the challenges come into the household, as opposed to here when we only have to enter for these short periods of time.
This is Sunday's meal. It's always a Sunday meal. We make it on Thursday. It's all handmade, and what its objective is to simulate the stomach contents of the ungulate that they would be eating had they been wild animals. Because they're not living in the wild, they don't get all the things that wild animals do. As you notice in their habitats, they destroy their habitats. There's hardly any vegetation except for the trees and except for the rainy season when the weeds start to really grow. So what this is 70% meat. It's got ground beef and ground turkey. Typically it's got green beans, carrots, 3 grains, rice, oats, and barley. Eggs, whole, shell and all. We just crush the shell, put it all in there because it gives them that good calcium. Plus it has amino acids, it has essential fatty acids that they need, it's got bone meal, lecithin, it's got a nutritional supplement that we design and make here that gets included in it. So all the goodies that a wolf would need is right here when they don't get the whole wild game. Now, the animals that occasionally do get wild game, they get everything. So that's why those animals who ate the elk and the deer, the last few days aren't going to get this meal today. They're already gorged. They're not going to get anything more. So we're just going to load this up and toss this into the wheelbarrow. Now, of course, we don't cook it. You could eat this yourself. It's like a meatloaf you make at home, except for the nutritional supplements might make it taste gross. But we don't cook their food. It's all raw.
Well, the sanctuary is actually funded almost entirely just by private donations and our membership and sponsorship program. So a lot of the time our funding comes from people coming in and seeing an animal that they fall in love with and, you know, providing that animal with $125 a year just to sponsor that animal, help us feed and take care of them. But we average it out to about 12 sponsors per animal per year, and that's just really for food and basic expenses. That doesn't include enclosure costs, which can be several $1,000s just to build one enclosure. And it also doesn't include any kind of medical care or medications or other emergencies that may come up, or for that matter, any enrichment items. One of the things we like to do for the animals is make sure that they're getting some sort of enrichment all the time. A captive animal will just languish without anything to keep their brain working and such. Of course, some of the enclosures currently have like ponds and beautiful cave houses, but that's another thing that we would love to have in every single enclosure. I think the average price to feed the animals now is $6.99 per animal per day, and that's just food.
How can people make contributions to your organization?
Well, there are many different ways. Usually the easiest way is just a donation. People can just, sign a check. They can give us cash, whatever. The most cutest I've ever seen was I took a tour and there's a little girl who came up and gave us her allowance money. People can just do that. There's also memberships for $25, $50, and $100. And that membership allows you to get our newsletter. And depending on which amount you choose, you can get a magnet and a t-shirt. And that's a way to help our sanctuary.
If you haven't been exposed to this particular idea of wolves and wolf dogs in captivity, many people know nothing about it at all. Some people don't even know this epidemic exists. But the truth is that we do. We have thousands and thousands of pure wolves and wolf dog crosses that are currently in captivity. And year after year, these animals are taken to the Humane Society or released because people think that they're going to survive. So it is actually an epidemic. Our sanctuary, our major goal, while we do, of course, do rescue work and provide sanctuary to the animals, our major goal in general is to utilize the rescues that we have here for education. We want people to know that this is an issue. We want people to come out and visit us and understand that no, they're not aggressive killers, and that's not the reason that these animals aren't usually good pets, but it's because they are wild animals and you can't take that away. So we definitely want people to come out and understand more by going on a tour, not just to guess and think to themselves that this is just like a zoo with wolves that have been captured on display. It's very different here.